Hello everyone, welcome to New View Coaching Classes for Science. This is your host Jatin. Today we are going to discuss about the different types of reactions. But before we discuss about the different types of reactions, let us discuss what we have studied till now in this chapter. We have discussed about the chemical change, about the chemical reaction. We have also discussed about the characteristics of the chemical reactions. We have discussed about the chemical equation, how to balance the chemical equation, and why we need to balance the chemical equation, right? So now we are going to discuss about the different types of reactions in this lecture, right? So let's see what is written on the board. If you see, I have written the names of the different types of reactions. The first type of reaction is a combination reaction. The second is decomposition reaction. The third is displacement reaction. The fourth is double displacement, and then we have redox reaction, which is the short form of reduction and oxidation reaction. But today, out of these five, we are going to discuss about the first two reactions only, right? So without wasting time, let us discuss about the first two reactions. So we talk about the combination reactions. So as the name suggests, combination, it means we're combining two or more things and forming something new. Again, before we proceed about the combination reactions, let me revise something. The things which we have before the reactions, they are called reactants, and the things which are formed, they are called as products. So accordingly, I will be telling you about the reactants and products only now. So if we have two or more reactants in the beginning and we form a new product, it's called a combination reaction. So let's take the first example. Let's first take the first equation for the combination reaction. Let's talk about calcium oxide. Calcium oxide is also called as slaked lime. Calcium oxide is also called as slaked lime, and this slaked lime is used as for whitewashing the walls. You can see the walls. This calcium oxide is used for whitewashing the walls when it's mixed with water. That is, the mixture of calcium oxide with water is used for whitewashing the walls. But what happens actually in this reaction? When this calcium oxide is mixed with water, a lot of heat is generated when these two combine. And the thing which is formed is called as calcium hydroxide. You can see the reaction of calcium oxide in water on the small screen which is coming here, right? So this calcium oxide plus water form calcium hydroxide, and this calcium hydroxide is also called as lime water, right? In Hindi we call this calcium oxide as chuna, and this calcium hydroxide is called as chune ka pani, right? So this calcium hydroxide is used for whitewashing. Now when these two combine, a lot of heat is produced. That is why when we have to use this thing for whitewashing, it is mixed with water overnight so that it cools, and then next morning it can be used for whitewashing. Further, when this calcium hydroxide is used for whitewashing, when we put it on the walls, this calcium hydroxide reacts with CO2 present in the air, and it forms calcium carbonate, and the water is released, right? So this is what happens in this reaction. There can be more combination reactions like burning of carbon. If we have a coal, that is a pure carbon, if we burn it, it forms carbon dioxide, right? Then we can have more reactions, like if we talk about the combination of hydrogen and oxygen. You can't mix hydrogen and oxygen like this only, that if you take some container, you put hydrogen and then you put oxygen, then water will be formed. No, it will not happen like this. What we have to do, if we have to combine hydrogen and oxygen, we have to put some spark. Some spark have to be passed through it. Then only what happens, they turn into water. That is, we have to pass electric current from it. So this is the balance equation. Right. So this is what happens in case of combination reaction. Now, what is I told, when these are combining, actually heat is being evolved. Right. So a new kind of reaction, we can define a new kind of reaction from here, and that reaction is called as exothermic reaction. We talk about exothermic reaction. Now, exothermic basically means the reaction which evolves heat. The reaction in which heat is evolved, they are called as exothermic reactions. Means you are not doing anything, when you are mixing two things, heat is being evolved, that is called as exothermic reaction. You must remember in the first lecture when we discussed about the combination of zinc and hydrochloric acid. Then also the test tube in which we mix these two, the test tube becomes hot. That is also a combination, that is not a combination reaction, but that is also an example of a exothermic reaction, right? There can be more, we can talk about more reactions about the combination. Like if we talk about the formation of compost. Compost is a thing which is formed from the animal waste and the waste of the vegetable matter. When these combine, then also the heat is evolved. And the thing which is formed is a compost which is used in the used by the farmers in the fields, right? So this is all about the combination reaction. One more combination reaction we can talk about which occurs in our body, and that is the respiration reaction. In respiration, what happens basically, the glucose which is present, or we can say it's a carbohydrate which reacts with carbon dioxide to form. It forms basically, we can say talk about, in case of respiration, what happens basically, the glucose reacts with the oxygen and they form carbon dioxide and water, and heat is produced. This respiration is basically you can say it's a reverse of your photosynthesis reaction, right? So this was all about combination. Let's go to the next, that is the decomposition reaction. Now, when we talk about decomposition, it is also called as decombination. The other name of this decomposition reaction. It is basically the reverse of combination. Combination means joining of two or more substances to form a new substance, but decomposition means breakdown. It means we are breaking something, right? So we can say when one reactant breaks into two or more products, it is called as decomposition reaction. Now, if we have to break any substance, we require energy, and this energy can be either in the form of heat, either it can be in the form of electricity, or it can be in the form of light. So decomposition reaction can be of three kinds. We further divide decomposition reaction in three types. The first is, it is called as thermal decomposition. The second is called as electrolytic decomposition, and the third is called as photo decomposition. So let's talk about them one by one, about the thermal decomposition, about the electrolytic decomposition, and the photo decomposition. Now, in case of thermal decomposition, what we require to break down a substance, we require heat. That is why the name is thermal decomposition. So we have some examples in the book also regarding the thermal decomposition. The first one is we talk about ferrous sulfate. Now, if if you talk about the full name of ferrous sulfate, it is basically FeSO4.7H2O. This is the complete formula of ferrous sulfate, and it is light green in color. It is light green in color. This 7H2O is nothing but they are called as water of crystallization, which you will be studying in the coming lectures, in the coming chapters also, right? It basically what happens when the crystals of any salt are formed, then this some water molecules get attached with them, right? That is why they are called as water of crystallization. Now initially what happens, if we heat it, not very hard, right? We heat it very little bit. So what happens, initially this ferrous sulfate loses its color and this water molecules evaporates. It breaks down and the water molecule evaporates and changes to green, white color. Then further, if we heat it strongly, now what happens if we heat strong heating, then what happens, this ferrous sulfate breaks down to form Fe2O3 plus two gases are formed, which is SO2 and SO3. You can see the reaction in the screen which is coming on the top, right? So this is, and how to test these two, they have a smell of, burning sulfur. Now you must be thinking, what is burning sulfur? If you have smell a tire of a vehicle being burned, that is basically the smell of a burning sulfur. And this Fe2O3 is basically in a light brown color. It will be in brownish color, Fe2O3. So this is what happens in case of the decomposition of ferrous sulfate crystals, right? Then we talk about the decomposition of calcium carbonate. Now, you remember in the previous combination reaction we discussed that calcium carbonate is formed when calcium hydroxide reacts with CO2 present in the air to form calcium carbonate. Now we will be talking about how does this calcium carbonate breaks down. Now when this calcium carbonate is heated, basically what happens? It breaks down to form calcium oxide and CO2 gas. Now this experiment or this reaction, you can say, is very important in the you can say in industrial concept, because this calcium oxide is used in the formation of cement. So that is why this breakdown of calcium carbonate is very important in case if we talk about the industrial use, right? And we get naturally this thing only, that is calcium carbonate. Now we talk about the third thermal decomposition reaction, that is the decomposition of lead nitrate, that is PbNO3 Again, it's a salt of white color, right? If we heat it directly, so what happens in that case? Again, you can see the reaction, the experiment of this reaction on the small screen which is coming on the top of this. Now, when this breaks, what happens? This forms lead oxide plus nitrogen dioxide and oxygen gas. These are two gases which are formed. Now, this arrow basically means here, whenever there is a gas form, we put an arrow to symbolize that basically it's a gas, right? So this is, and I write S here. S means solid. So the thing which is left over is a solid thing, and this is white in color. This is white. The thing which is left is of yellow color, and this nitrogen dioxide comes out in the form of brown fumes. So this is what happens. So we can say that we can come to know about the reaction has been formed, or the gas which is being produced is nitrogen dioxide, because it produces brown fumes, right? Now we go to the second type of decomposition reaction, that is electrolytic decomposition. There can be many reactions related with the electrolytic decomposition, but we talk about the decomposition of water. In the combination, we talked about the combination of hydrogen, oxygen, and passing electric current from them and forming water. Now we talk the reverse of that. That is, we break down water, but the process is again we have to pass electric current. How we do it? Let's see. Now, for the decomposition of water, we have to prepare an apparatus basically which helps us to show the decomposition of water. Now you can see I have already drawn the diagram for the decomposition of water. Let's see what are there. There is a jar, and then two electrodes, that is the graphite electrodes, are set up inside there. We fill the jar with the water, and two test tubes are taken which are also filled with the water. And these two test tubes are inverted over the two rods. Then the two graphite rods are connected to the positive and the negative terminals of the battery. Now, what happens as soon as we pass the current, we see that there are some bubbles formation in the two test tubes. Now, these two, now the question is, when the bubbles form, obviously there will be some gas in it, right? Now, on one side we see that the volume of gas is less, and the other side we see that the volume of gas is more. Now the question, which gas is produced where? Now if we see H2O, if we see the reaction of water, now when this water breaks down, it forms hydrogen and oxygen. Now we know normally hydrogen forms the positive ions, right? So that is why these positive ions will always go to the negative electrode, that is towards the cathode, that is the negative electrode. So we can come to know whatever the gas is being collected in the test tube which is over the negative electrode is hydrogen, and the gas which is being collected over the positive electrode is oxygen, right? Further, we can test them, the gases, whenever this water ends. What we can do, we can just take out the two test tubes and we can test them with the burning mass splinter, but be very careful while testing these things. As soon as we put a burning mass splinter near the test tube containing oxygen, the flame of the matchsticks becomes much brighter. And in case of hydrogen, when we bring a burning match splinter near the hydrogen test tube, near the test tube containing hydrogen, it burns with a pop sound, and this matchsticks extinguishes, right? So these are the tests for both of the oxygen and hydrogen. Now there is one more question: why the volume of hydrogen collected in a test tube is double than the volume of oxygen? So it's very simple. We can just see from the reaction, whenever two molecules of water break down, it forms two molecules of hydrogen and one molecule of oxygen. That is why the volume of hydrogen formed is double than the volume of oxygen. So this was all about the electrolytic decomposition of water. Now we go to the third and the last decomposition, that is the photo decomposition, and it is a very simple thing. Now we talk about the photo decomposition. Photo basically means here light. So you must have seen there are some chemicals, or there are some you can say medicines also, which are kept in the dark color bottles. If you have brought some medicines from the you can say chemist, they give you you must have seen that there are some medicines which are kept in the dark colored bottles. The reason is only that because these medicines when they come in contact with the light in the we can say in the form of sunlight, or maybe your room light, but more about the sunlight, then what happens, whatever the chemicals are present inside them, they decomposes. As we can see in one of the reaction of silver chloride, the formula is AgCl. Now this silver chloride is basically a white color powder. If we take a dish and we keep the silver chloride in sunlight for some time, then what happens, this silver chlorides break down to form silver, and this chlorine gas is removed from it. So this is basically what happens in the photo decomposition. That is why the silver chloride is always kept in colored bottles, right? If it is not kept in colored bottle, if it suppose it is kept in a, you can say, plain glass bottle, then in coming contact with light, the silver and chlorine will get breakdown, they will separate out, and if someone tries to open the bottle and smells this thing, then due to the presence of chlorine, the person may faint also, because chlorine is a very poisonous gas. Further, we can have one more reaction, that is the reaction of silver bromide. Same thing happens. If these are kept in light, then this breaks down into silver and bromine. So I'm just writing here sunlight, because in presence of sunlight the reaction is very fast, right? And these two reactions are basically used in black and white photography. These are used in black and white photography. These days what we have everything digitalized. So if you want to get your photograph, you can just take a pic and take in the pen drive, and you go to the shop and they give you the printout. But earlier this was not the case. These chemicals were used, right? So earlier we used to have some negatives from which the positives were developed, and these were the chemicals which were used, and all the reaction which was carried out using these chemicals was done in the dark room, right? So this was about the combination reaction and the decomposition reaction today. Dear friends, we talk about displacement and double displacement reaction and the redox reaction in the next lecture. Till then, you just revise this thing, right? So this is all from my side. I hope you understood everything. Make sure to like my video and subscribe to my channel. This is your host signing off. Goodbye and take care.